It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theater streaming and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
And we got the Merman.
Yo.
How's the Merman doing today?
Sore and tired. I worked till 3 a.m. last night.
It's got buns of steel, baby.
The big jelly roll was in town.
Oh, Joe, that's the tattoo face guy.
Tattooed face guy.
Tattoo-faced country boy.
Did you see any of his show?
No, we had to wait outside till it was over in a minus 5 temperatures and didn't even get a damn t-shirt out of it.
So what's with this waiting outside stuff? Why can't you wait inside?
Well, because his entourage is so big, the room we usually wait in, they were in it.
Wow.
And because there's like 100 of us, they
But
don't
this
want...
was at the Saddle Dome, right?
Yeah, they don't want
Do they
us-
only have like one room?
Well, no, it's
is there not another room?
No,
they
the
could've put you in?
production room, the room where we usually hang out in,
Yeah.
they didn't let us in, and because
Is there like a storage closet somewhere?
no, they made us wait outside till the thing was over.
That is
You know
crazy.
what? It's
It
just
is.
like some performers want like only red M&Ms.
Oh yeah, the guy had a huge entourage. I'm sure he's
they
a
wrote
diva.
into the contract these people
Anyway.
have to sit outside.
I hope he makes enough money to get those tattoos removed from his face.
Yeah,
He's probably getting more.
sure.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Well, thanks to all been supporters. If you love our independent podcast or even like it a little bit, why don't you give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform, or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining your membership at buymeacoffee.com/Film Rage YYC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible, terrible film. Which, as long as it played in cinemas anywhere in the world, we'll watch it. That's the thing.
That's a thing.
Well, let's get to raging. What amazing moment predict? What amazing moment
Today?
Will he predict the rage or will he predict the mondo? Will he tell us all what Jim and Bryce are the movies? Now, kids, better watch out, 'cause Merman is swimming to you. Swim, Murray, swim, Murray.
Swim, Murray, swim.
Swim.
As Abji.
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
Hearts.
Came from Jim.
Jim, you're wrecking our podcast.
Nice.
Wouldn't be the first time.
That's true.
All right. Well, there were 3 movies this week. The first one, which was Mickey 17, or as Jim likes to call it, Mikey 17. I've seen it twice, Mikey, but yeah. It's Mickey.
It's something.
Which I did actually get to see.
What?
Yeah, it fit into my busy schedule.
What?
Yeah, Robert Pattinson, and it's directed by that Korean dude you guys like.
Bong
so
Joon
much.
Ho.
Yeah.
Not like. love.
Whatever.
Yeah, we love.
And it was a space adventure, and you got your
Critters.
your Mark Ruffalo, or
Mr. Potato
Mr.
himself.
Potato, as some kind of evil cult leader, which I didn't see in the trailer at all. I just thought it was a space adventure.
Well, it was a space adventure.
Yeah, because that Korean dude you guys love so much, based just on that, and Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it's a Mondo for both.
Okay.
All right.
Psychic
Night
powers.
of the Zoopocalypse, which
Yes.
yeah, I saw the trailer for in the theater when I was with you guys, and yeah, it's animated. There's animals, there's zombies and stuff, and Jim loves his zombies and he loves his cartoons. So let's go Mondo, and
All right.
Bryce gave it a meh. Rule Breakers,
Rule Breakers.
Rule breakers.
which looked interesting.
Based on a true story.
Based on an amazing true story.
Yes.
And it's produced by
amazing.
It's produced by Angel Films, one of our favorites. Because you know
Was
they always bring the drama.
I will say this wasn't a typical Angel Films.
Yeah, I
Film.
didn't see
It
religious
wasn't-
conversion.
It
but
wasn't heavy-handed with the Christian
but
stuff.
Still, with them, there's always.
In fact, it wasn't really in it at all.
They always slip it in
There wasn't one Christian
Nah.
drop in it.
because
No.
it wasn't about Christians.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you guys really got it to a mondo. Maybe double meh.
Double mad. Maybe. Who knows? Could have been.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Nice. So, Mickey, not Mikey, 17. Show Mickey 17. Or the quest for the most important thing in the universe. Delicious sauce. Rom-com sci-fi political satire. Take it from Bong Joon Ho to invent, or if not invent, perfect a whole new genre. He has an ability to take humanity and manipulate it in ways you never see coming. Also, like most of his films, there is always a sense of right and wrong and rooting for the little guy. Sometimes you never know who that is. In this case, it's both a creeper, our Mickey, and also the good side, and I'm putting that in heavy quotes, of humanity. We also get what I like to call the new and improved Mr. Potato, aka Mark Ruffalo.
He's just doing what he's always done, my friend.
No, that's completely the most incorrect statement you've ever said. The change in me started from one of my other favorite directors, Yorgos Lanthimos' last film, where in my opinion, Mr. Potato stretched his acting chops to where I think he is best suited. Wacky weirdo. In these roles, he is now the leading weirdo and is formally now officially on my creep crush list of actors, but only for his last 2 films. Yes, he plays over-the-top weirdo, which I gotta say he is doing this role at the top of his game, which I don't think I've ever said about him. In fact, most of the times I cannot stand him, and if it wasn't for Bryce and maybe Murray, he would be repulsive up until the last 2 films. Yeah, he is the worst actor up until these last 2 films that I ever see. He's a potato.
He is a fine.
You could
fella.
easily
He is a fine actor.
I mean,
replace
he's
him
no
with a
Ben
potato.
Affleck.
I just
but-
watched him do the Thriller dance with Jennifer Garner, and it gets me every time.
You know what? That he could be a good person outside of the movies he acts in.
I was in the
But
movie.
he's a potato. So until now,
You just watched
Potatoes-
50 or what is it, 13 again? Or
Yeah, it was on TV. I only watched that one scene.
Jennifer Garner's so awesome.
I love her. I love
horrible.
her.
She's the worst.
She's the worst. Okay, now where was I? Oh yeah, so he's now on my
Ben
creep
Affleck
crush.
agree on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you have seen the trailer for this, there is no huge surprise to what this story is about. We get Robert Pattinson as Mickey, who is an expendable, and not the Sylvester Stallone type
the
of
Stallone
expendable. Expendables are used in the colonization of foreign planets to test things like deadly diseases, deadly missions, or in any situation that you need to be able to be a human guinea pig without any remorse. And why is that, you may ask? Because you are replicated and you are expendable. This film is layered with political satire and pokes at colonialism, class ranking, dystopian futures, true love, and of course, understanding that the human spirit is not always ruled by politically hungry alt-right Christians. They can be ruled by humans who get that just because a species doesn't look like you doesn't make it less intelligent or worth killing. The FX in this is stellar. Pattinson is brilliant as a shy, unassuming expendable in Mickey 17, as well as his alter ego, Mickey 18. The cast is having so much fun in this film, you can't help but enjoy this bonkers adventure with all its humor and creative and original approach to the sci-fi rom-com genre. I laughed, I grew a little bit as a person, and I'm now 2 movies in where I think the potato himself, Mark Ruffalo, is a talented actor if given the right role. I love this film, even with some of the minor flaws, but then again, I do love sci-fi as a genre.
You do.
But mostly I love everything Bong Joon Ho does. Mickey 17 was mondo. It was wacky. It was bonkers. Seeing Ruffalo channel Donald Trump's face, but not his mannerisms, made me laugh every single time he was on screen. I've got a couple things to unpack, but what do you say, Mur?
17 versions of Robert Pattinson.
Yes!
Sounded interesting.
It does.
When I watched the trailer, it looked to be funny and delightful.
It was.
So I cashed in all my scene points and went to see it at my local cinema. As it turned out, I'm glad I didn't pay money for it.
Oh, come on. Murr.
I know. You guys love that Korean dude. Parasite and whatever else he's done.
Mega
I
things.
have not seen any of his films, nor do I really plan to. So maybe I don't get his directing style. Robert Pattinson, every version of him in this film was pretty good. I especially liked Evil Mickey, or Number 18. The sheer dark side flip of the character was pretty entertaining. Unfortunately, that's about all I liked about this film. The story, which I thought was a rompy space travel adventure, quickly eroded into a Jim Jones crazy cult goes to another planet story. Mark Ruffalo, who I usually like, was off the rails, unhinged in this film.
Yes!
Couldn't stand his character. Maybe it was the teeth. Toni
best.
Collette, who I absolutely adore, was
awesome.
downright
Was
horrible
also
in this.
awesome.
What?
I thought the movie was too long by at least 30 minutes.
Oh, man.
The ice worms, which they were
Also rock
both
worms.
cute and terrifying. Reminded me too much of Dune and Tremors.
Yeah, it was like a combo pack.
I realize how much you guys both love that Bong Joe whatever guy.
Bong Joon Ho.
So I'm not going to give this film what I really wanted to.
Thank God.
A rage.
Woo!
I will settle on a very,
We'll take it.
very
We'll take it.
low,
We'll take it.
We'll take it.
low
We'll
man.
take
it.
Just because of Dark Side Mickey.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah,
And
you're welcome.
And Pattinson. You also said Pattinson.
He's all right. No, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Mickey.
but
he's
Mickey. You said him. All his versions. You
yeah,
liked.
but I especially love Dark Side Mickey.
Dark Side
There you go.
Mickey.
But
Yeah, Dark Side
So,
Mickey
yeah,
was
sorry.
pretty damn sexy.
Did not love it as much as you guys. Sorry.
Yeah, you are really doing us a big favor.
Yeah, I know I am.
Yes,
I
you
Well,
are.
actually, you're doing
realize
Bong
it.
Joon Ho.
And,
big-
You're welcome.
And by the way, Murray, if you just don't want to watch any of his other movies, that is okay with us.
I'm not planning on it. Because you know what they all
Most of
have
them are in
common?
Korean.
They have subtitles.
all except for
except-
two other ones.
Yeah,
what are the other
Okja
ones?
doesn't have subtitles.
Well,
does
Okja
it?
has some.
Oh, it might have a few. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
But-
the one with the train?
What's there
And
any-
Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer. doesn't
Okay,
have
that
it.
one I've seen.
Yeah, so
You
like
liked
that
it.
Yeah, because it had Chris Evans in it.
one. Nice. There you go.
There you
So
go.
yeah, that's one out of
Because it
However
had
many he
Chris
did.
Evans. I don't think anybody's ever said that before.
I don't
This
think
movie was
anyone's
good
ever-
because
Actually,
Chris Evans was in
I
it.
said that about Chris Evans and Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I'm going to
Was he
tell
in
you
that?
something
Was he
about
in
Chris Evans. Chris Evans peaked in
Scott
Captain
Pilgrim
America?
versus the World.
in what the hell? Not another teen movie. That's where Chris Evans peaked when he had the banana sticking out of his butt. That's it. From there, his career went downhill. That is the Chris Evans that
That
I
you
would.
know and love.
It's like, Elvis, someone should have shot him in the head before he got fat and ridiculous and went to Vegas. They should have shot Chris Evans in the head right after Not Another Teen Movie, and that would have been his legacy, and it would have been awesome.
Oh, he was
Couldn't he just have died of natural causes?
Well, whatever. I
Or
don't care.
retired?
I don't really
Why
care
are people
how
having to shoot people in the head for you to be
because
happy?
he would have found a way to get into another movie and spoil it all for me, just like he did.
You didn't like him
Anyway.
and Scott Pilgrim? Come on, he was great.
He
in
was,
Scott.
yeah, he was. Good in
Everything
Scott
about
Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim is great.
that one had a Superman in it too. Just so
Yeah,
you
it
know.
did.
It did.
The vegan, and he was also vegan.
That's
super,
right.
He was a
Brandon
super
Ralph.
vegan.
Loved the guy.
Except
Met
for
him.
he didn't know chicken wasn't vegan.
He was an awesome dude. I met him.
All right, so Bryce, what do you think of Mickey 17?
Mickey 17. Jim, I agree with everything that you said except for the fact
Mark
that
Ruffalo?
the fact that Mark Ruffalo was always freaking brilliant. So I don't know what you're
I can't
talking about.
understand the brilliant in his name in the same sentence.
He's a master thespian, my friend.
He is.
You mean when he's a potato for every movie up until the last two? Sure.
Between him and Toni Collette, I mean, this is the reason Murray didn't like the movie, and this is the reason I loved the movie. Every time him and Toni Collette were on screen was pure joy. Robert Pattinson, you could see the fun that he was having with this role.
Totally.
It was infectious. This movie was just so much fun, start to finish. there's and you know, Bong Joon Ho is going to put a lot of political stuff in because that's what he does. And that's cool because I kind of agree with him every time. So he's never saying anything where I'm going, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't have to go on and on and on. I could, but this was totally Mondo. And let's just get to your unpacking. What do you want to unpack?
Well, we've all kind of talked about it, but the Toni Collette and Ruffalo codependency and how they fed off each other to the level of wackiness.
Yeah.
That is just like, I've never seen two characters that are that over the top.
Yeah.
And how it ended with her coming back, it was like, that was so good.
Just, yeah.
Or the thing that got me the most was the religious jabs in this.
Oh,
like
there are tons.
The part there's their dinner party when they're at the dinner party and they're gonna pray.
So
I'm
good.
just like, this is literally the funniest prayer I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And actually, I didn't know. Like, I thought that he had contracted something that was gonna kill him.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, how is he gonna get out of this?
Yeah, he did. Then he recovered.
Yeah, he recovered.
And then he ate the bad meat.
Yeah.
And he recovered from that too. It's like he's indestructible. Like Mickey 17 is
17
indestructible.
was-
Cannot die.
It's hard to
Indestructible.
kill Mickey 17. The other one's not so much, but
Yeah.
Mickey
Well,
17.
yeah, I mean, they went through 15 of them in like 5 minutes. He didn't even get to meet them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the part that I thought was so good. Was like they showed you every single one about what their story was, because even the one where they're like, well, I think it was 11, 12, and 13 were when they found the cure for the gas on the planet, and it's just like, and the whole time his love interest was there by his side.
You know the thing about Bong Joon Ho movies? If you go through them all, facial expressions are such a big part of his movies.
Totally.
And I guarantee he coached these guys on kind of what he wanted and then kind of probably let them run with
for
it.
sure.
But everybody in this, from Nasha to Mickey to Yiva to Ken, the Marshall, like their facial expressions were just
Over the top
and so funny. And you could just see that he was having such a good time with this while sneaking in some messages too while he was at it. And you know what? It was just, there's no other director like this that can make so many different types of movies. A lot of times directors kind of, it's that guy's movie because that's kind of, that's the style. He's got different styles, and he tells completely different stories.
Yeah, the only one that I would say that, I mean, it's nothing like it, but would be a similar kind of feel is The Host.
Yeah.
Right? Like in the sense that you've got a alien.
It's another
creature.
this is kind of a
it's kind of a monster movie. But in this one, the monster is actually the Christians.
Kinda, yeah.
Which, I feel that way every day.
Man, I could watch Toni Collette just play this role on forever. She was so good. Yeah. So good. Anyways, love this movie. I hope everybody else appreciates the way that me and Jim did. Or if, hopefully you'd like it maybe more than Murray did.
It's funny though, because my one of my son-in-laws, he asked me about it and I know his sensibilities about film because he's also a film director. But I said, you will not like this movie. I know for a fact he will not like
There's
this
some
movie.
people that won't.
Because of the
did
comedy.
He go?
He hasn't gone yet, but when he does, I know he won't like it because he doesn't understand wacky humor.
Yeah.
I love wacky humor. I just didn't find it funny.
How could you
Honestly,
not?
I didn't.
Was it because you were raised by Catholics?
Maybe a little.
All right.
No, I don't know. I was expecting one kind of movie and it became something else.
Oh.
It wasn't what I...
Who cares what you expect? You just judge the movie in front of you.
If they did just done like the exploring a new planet, blah blah blah, yeah, sure. But they had to throw religion in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And politics.
Big newsflash: I don't like movies about religion. Period. I don't care what religion.
I end up loving movies about religion.
If there was a nun or a priest in it, I'm not going to.
The
it,
Omen.
just so you know.
You know what? The only kind of nun I really want to see. You know what kind of nuns I want to see? Dark
nuns.
You guys didn't like that movie anyway.
It was okay.
It was okay, but we like dark nuns.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
All right.
You loved it. Let's move on.
Let's talk about Night of the Zoopocalypse.
Yeah.
Okay, so Canadian animated with kind of a made-for-TV feel.
Yeah.
About a zoo that gets invaded by an alien meteor. In turn, which it possesses an evil bunny who turns the entire zoo into evil zombies / demons / 28 days later, whatever you want to call them. These turns the critters into monsters. The story is very seen it before. There is, in my opinion, enough humor in here to entertain. To be honest, though, the horror in this actually had some pretty scary parts in between the talking animals working together to save their home. In fact, I would say it would rival almost a Goosebumps level scary at times. So I can see why this was definitely rated PG as opposed, like, it's definitely not a rated G. So if you're thinking about taking kids to this, I'd be conscious about knowing your kid to know whether or not they can take some of the scares that this will have. That's what I would say about that. I'm not sure who the intended audience this was for.
That's what I'm going to be saying.
Little kids, I think, would be too scared, and teenagers would think it's too kiddie. So I'm guessing maybe gateway horror for 7 to 10-year-olds. It's a zombie film, so it didn't have much of a chance to make me rage, because even the worst zombie movie I still like, because I like things that eat people. It's my kink, I guess. For kids, it's a positive message that it's okay to create your own pack and support each other. It probably was about 15 to 25 minutes too long, but I still laughed, and I got some jump scares enough from evil animals, so I didn't hate it. It was a meh.
Yeah, I also don't really know who this was for. I guess you could your gateway 7 to 10-year-old theory is
probably right.
Probably okay. That's an awfully narrow audience that you're playing to.
Yeah, well, that's well, and also me, because I didn't mind it.
None of the humor landed with me. Like you saw me. I was sitting there just bored to tears for that entire movie.
You did laugh that one time.
Did I? I don't remember.
And then you
laughing.
did sleep for about half an hour.
I didn't sleep. You're always telling me that I fell asleep. Oh, whatever. Stop spreading rumors.
But
Jim.
I kind of know when you did fall asleep, because I'm like, okay, it's gotten a little bit draggy here.
It's the whole thing was draggy, and it didn't look good. I mean, I hate to, pile on a Canadian movie, but it didn't even look good enough for made for TV. This was amateurish animation that just I didn't like it. I liked nothing about this movie. The animation was terrible. The jokes didn't land.
Oh, they did for me.
I don't know who it was for. It sure as hell wasn't for me.
Nope.
It was a rage. It was awful. I hated this movie. Like I don't even know what the voice actors, I guess some of them were okay. I guess Scott Thompson might have if I did laugh, it might have been at something he said in this as he was what was he the
you got me,
Ash
right.
Was he an ostrich or something? I don't even know what the hell these things were. I think he was an ostrich.
He was Paul Sun Hung Lee was Felix.
Yeah, I know. And David Harbour was Dan.
Yeah,
I know.
Talking about?
I know there was some people in here that we know, but Scott Thompson was the only one that might have made me laugh.
Ash,
maybe.
yeah, I don't know which one Ash was.
He was like it wasn't an ostrich.
Yeah, I think you're right. He was the ostrich.
Alpaca.
Yeah.
There wasn't.
No, there was an ostrich.
Yeah.
I figured.
Anyways,
see, I didn't mind the animation because
I hated the animation. It just looked cheap and crummy.
It felt like it's that over exaggerated. The eyes of all the creatures are extra large.
I knew from the opening scene with the silly chase scene, and I was like, this is going to be terrible, and I was right. Like it never got any better.
You slept through half of
it.
So.
I didn't sleep through any of it. Stop spreading rumors. No, hated this movie. Hated it.
And I
don't think it's for anybody. Just avoid it at all costs.
Don't avoid it.
And bring the kids.
You should probably bring your 7 to 10-year-old. And if you like zombie movies like me and Canadian animated TV, then you might like it.
Raccoons, baby.
Sign me up for the raccoons.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Raccoons,
it was raccoons,
baby.
I was like, this is like raccoons, but like more animated.
There was no character. that was as good as like a Cyril Sneer in this. Just give me a break.
Yeah,
Not even close.
The cougar was kind of like that.
Cougar wasn't like
Cougar
that.
was awesome.
No.
Actually, it wasn't a cougar. What was it? It was a mountain lion.
Mountain lion.
That's right.
The thing.
Yeah, it's a mountain lion.
Anyways.
Oh, a little piece of trivia I just dug up.
I love
Yes.
trivia.
Apparently, this was inspired by Clive Barker.
Yeah,
concept.
it was based on a concept by
Yeah.
Clive Barker. He's an executive producer
Oh,
on
is he?
it.
Nice.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's an executive producer
he's
on
not
it. so-
that old.
It seems like he's old.
It just seems to me that if Clive Barker really believed in this project, he would have been more
Directed
involved
himself?
with it.
More hands-on.
Because it wasn't written by him. This is like one of the weirdest credits I've ever seen. It literally, I believe it says it's inspired by an idea,
Concept,
like a
right.
concept by Clive Barker.
So-
I've never seen that in my life as
So-
a credited concept.
So what you're
But
saying?
it has nothing to do with writing it. It's just, I guess he was talking at a party
It's a
somewhere
sen-
and someone
it's a
overheard him.
sentence on a cocktail napkin.
Yeah,
is
it's
what
like-
it is.
Well, it might not even have been a napkin. Like
That is
Bryce
just
said,
so
maybe
weird.
maybe he was at a convention.
Maybe
and
he
said
was
something.
maybe he was stoned at a party and he just said, "What? You know, what would be awesome? Animals as zombies."
And they
Yeah.
said, all
Like,
right,
okay, let's make a movie out of that.
with some.
you want to be executive producer? All right.
Okay.
Want to do anything?
You
No?
can have you can have my rights to the words I just said.
Just said that I think that if
To the two sentences.
Just give me the money.
zombie animals animated for
Zombie
kids. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Nice.
Anyways,
all right. Well,
hated it.
from zombie animals, we go all the way to Afghanistan.
That's a long way.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, I guess there could be zombie animals in Afghanistan.
I don't think so.
Maybe not. Taliban won't allow
Taliban
it. Okay,
won't
so
allow it.
this film was, for those of, this is another piece of trivia, Mur. This film was approved by the Angel Guild.
Apparently. And produced by Angel Films.
It's
No,
it's kind of
it's
weird.
at the very beginning of the movie.
I
It's
will
like
I
before it
will I
starts.
will say that if that's the reason you want to avoid this film, that's not a good reason to avoid it because it's the least Angel Guildy film that's
that you'll
ever been.
yeah, it's if you're going to this Angel production thinking you're going to be converted or reconverted or
Whatever.
what do they call it when you're not reconverted? You're just
There's
part of the conversion. I don't know.
yeah. Anyways,
So I want to say this to be very clear from the beginning
all right.
that this topic they try and portray in this is a very important topic. And the world in general, I feel, is heartbroken that so many women in Afghanistan have lost all their rights with the Taliban now back in power. So I want that to be very clear that my review of this movie has in no way any clear message about my thoughts and feelings about the injustice that's happening to the Afghani women. That I want to make sure is clear.
Yep.
So, now, on with the movie. So, this movie by the ever popular Angel Films, which is also approved by the Angel Guild, which,
Yep.
by the way, is not Angel Films, but they get to decide what is an Angel film. So how weird is that?
I don't know. I don't understand.
I'm already
but,
confused.
yeah.
Well, the movie had a guy named Jesus in it, so it immediately qualifies as an Angel film.
I don't think that's all that.
Was his
saying.
name Jesus or Jesus?
I don't know. It said Jesus.
Isn't it the same spelling?
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah.
Yes, it is.
So this movie by the ever popular Angel Film and Guild, creates a movie that is made up of moments in time for these four young ladies and a teacher who is a woman in Afghanistan who gets everything she wants by persistence and saying these magic words. Try harder. This try harder or can-do attitude is probably the most annoying thing I've ever seen in any movie that has ever been made by Angel Films. They can't get these girls to come to school, but they can because they work harder to do it. Followed by male-dominated no's by all their parents. But you know what? If you try harder,
You can make it happen.
you can make it happen.
right.
Followed by they can't get visas to go to the US. But you know what? What's those magic words?
Try harder.
Try harder.
Try harder. Then trying to make a robot that they have no instructions for, and they have no education about how to make a robot. But you know what? If you
Try harder.
you can do it. This film, like all Angel films that I have seen, which is unfortunately all of them, I truly believe make these films for people who have either never...
You haven't seen all of them.
I have a feeling that we have.
It feels like we have.
I'm pretty positive we've seen them all.
Did you go to that Fortress movie?
Yes.
Okay.
We did see that too.
Sure did.
Okay, so, sorry, where was I? So these films are for people who have either lived inside of a Bible or under a rock, or who have never seen a real film with any strife or bound in any form of reality outside of this little tiny box that they live in. This was so hard to watch, as this story that deserved a real script and story was delivered in a way that was more like a list of things they had to accomplish. And once they did, they ticked the box really quickly, actually, really, really quickly, and then just moved on to the next box that they had to tick. So imagine that the writer and director of this film said, you know what? Okay, so here's the situation. We have this very important story that we need to tell about these really great Afghan women. And you know what? We've got 72 things that we have to tick off to get it into the film. So guess what they did? They made clips that were like 72 clips that were put in some type of order. Sometimes they were out of order. Sometimes they were in order. Because sometimes it'd be like, now we're going back in time 10 years. And you're like, what? And then like, now we're going forward 7 years. And then we're going back. And me and Bryce were trying to figure out,
Yeah, like
well,
for what reason?
What year are we?
Yeah.
What year
So
are
now
we?
we're 3 years before the first thing that happened in this movie?
Or is it 2 years? And
2
so,
years?
so what
Sorry, now we're 7 years back from when?
And then we got out, you know what? We had time to go out to the lobby, get a protractor, and try and figure out what year we were actually in for the rest of the movie.
I wish I got to leave them.
So it was out of order, what you're saying.
I don't know. You're out of order.
I don't like those kind of movies.
Okay, so
I do
so
if they're
here's
done well, but there's no reason for it
Yes,
here.
exactly. So okay, Murray, question for you. QR code or no QR code?
QR code.
You are so right.
Damn straight.
Send money to women in Afghanistan to teach them
No.
how to
Just spread the
No.
word. Get
No.
people to watch.
This one is at the beginning of the movie. They
Actually,
tell you,
I saw the trailer, and
Yes.
yeah, it's a 3.5 minute
Yes.
trailer, and the last minute of it is
You can
the
go
stars
in.
of the movie asking you to watch the movie
Yep. And that you can win a trip if you see
and
the
win a
movie.
trip. Yeah,
Yes. So no, the QR code in this one is that you can buy a ticket for someone else to
Buy a
see
ticket for
this
somebody
movie.
else, right.
So it's like pay it forward.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, who would want to punish someone to pay this movie forward? I don't know.
it's like a hell
You know
of an
what?
April Fool's
It's-
joke.
If Bryce had not seen this movie and I was in that QR code by myself,
You would have bought him one?
100% I would have bought it for him. And then I would have put that name in the dare bag. And then so he would have had to have seen this movie. So I have one thing to unpack, but I want to hear what Bryce has to say.
Yeah, the Rule Breakers is just very disappointing. As you mentioned, there are some issues that absolutely deserve to have movies made about them, but they deserve to have good movies made about them. This was a train wreck. This was such a train wreck that I didn't even know what was going on some of the time. Like when they got to the competition and they've got these robots, we don't know what the point system is. Apparently, and I'm sure that they had more than one thing at the competition, but we see like some weird little clip of their robot doing some stuff, and then all of a sudden they're in second place or whatever.
Well,
it's like,
they're putting you in suspense because they're like,
It's
they're like, oh, who's gonna be
Well, we-
first or second place? And we're like,
Well,
what?
every-
How do they not know? Didn't
well,
the
how
robot
do they not
win?
know? But also, like, what is the point? Like, I don't even know if they did good or not because I don't know what the criteria is. Why can't you like have? There's got to be a way to make this so that I have some idea what's going on. Like, I literally had no idea what's going on. But there was just, it's just such a poorly made movie. And it just jumps all over the place. And it covers so much, but it covers so little at the same time. Because it's covering so much, my head's spinning. I'm like, what? Where are we now? We're jumping from... Apparently they were in like 500 of these competitions, and I guess they were
And
back
they were
to
still
back.
in high school.
And they were still in high school. Like, I don't know what's going on. I wanted this movie to be good because I really and I think that there's a good movie in this. Like in this story, there's a good movie to be made. Like 100%. A really good movie to be
documentary?
made. A documentary would be great. But there's even a good narrative movie that could have been made, I'm sure. This was not it, and I feel bad for the actors involved because
they did pretty good.
They were pretty
Yeah,
good.
they were
I actually liked the girls. They were all
and
good.
the teacher
was good.
Yeah, all the parents were good.
Yeah.
Like the acting was
good. Yeah, but the just not a well-made movie. It was just, and it was for something that should have been so straightforward telling of a story. It was the most confusing thing that I've seen that should have been so straight. Yeah. There's nothing. You shouldn't have been scratching your head at any time trying to figure out what the heck's going on in a movie like this because there's no reason for it. Yeah. You're telling something that's supposed to be a true story, and you're all over the place.
Well, and here's the thing about Angel Films.
Real quick, this was a rage, and I wish it wasn't. I really do, because I do think there was a good movie in this, because this was such a cool story. To completely misfire like this is a crime.
Yep.
But go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, like, the thing about Angel Films in general is that they're all PG rated, right? So you can have any person of any age go see this. Like, when you're talking about the Taliban, they needed to show how horrible the Taliban actually
wasn't there a scene
is.
in the trailer they talked about the Taliban going after her father, and there was like a bomb that went off in the distance. I'm like, is that all they showed?
And they didn't show anything.
They showed the explosion off.
They showed the explosion, but they
off in the distance, and that's all you got. And everything in it. There's a lot of implied in this movie.
Yeah.
That you kind of go, okay, I guess that's what happened, but they don't really show anything happening.
No, you don't like if we all didn't know about the Taliban and how horrible this organization is, you would watch this movie and go, well, maybe they're not so bad.
Not so nice.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I didn't get out of that movie going, man, the Taliban are evil
people.
I got out of there
which is weird.
Thinking like, oh, Taliban's at least feeding people.
Yeah.
Everybody looked well fed.
Yeah.
They all had they all have coffee at
this
coffee shop.
At this point, they weren't in charge, though. The Americans were still in Afghanistan.
Well, but we did get to the point where they were in charge, and even then, they still were allowed to have coffee.
We did we though?
Yeah.
I think this kind of ended before 2021 when they took
you know what?
Anyway.
That's
another thing. I mean, the fact that we're discussing this and we're not sure is another reason why it's like, I don't know what's going on with this movie. And maybe by the end I just didn't care.
Yeah, we both did. So
I have just one question.
Yes.
Was the robot fighting?
No,
they're then putting
it's
balls
a hard
on stuff.
pass for me. If robots aren't fighting, I don't want to see it.
You know what? The funniest thing you say about that, Murray, because I turned to Bryce in the middle of the film and I said, "What's the name of that battle?"
BattleBots.
Yeah. So Bryce said BattleBots, and I said yes. Because this isn't BattleBots, Murray would not.
I would hate
this
it.
movie.
Yeah, I would absolutely hate it.
I literally
Plus,
said that.
like you said, it didn't make any sense. It jumped around too much. I hate movies to do that.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a shame, but it's a rage.
And my only unpacking on this was, what exactly is a made-up silver medal?
I don't know.
They were awarded a silver medal, Murray.
Yeah.
Well, it's
for trying.
Yeah, if it was they got an honorable silver, whatever they called it, and
so it wasn't second place. It was like a
but this was
medal.
the first one that they were in. So, I mean, whatever. That's okay.
But why would they call it silver? Like just.
Yeah, well, they give out the bronze, and then they give out this honorable silver medal, then the actual silver. Oh no, they gave out the silver medal, then they gave out the
bronze. That's the way they do it. Yeah,
the honorary
silver, and then they gave out the gold.
So we have no clue where they placed.
They placed last.
Yeah,
once again they implied it, but they implied a lot of stuff in this. I don't know.
But
it's
but it's silver. Like, what's the point? Why didn't they make up a whole new?
Guarantee it's not real silver.
Uranium.
Why not just give them a little shout out? Like, why do you have...
we're going to award this team some money because they don't got it.
Give them a little badge.
Yeah.
Give them a bag of peanuts.
Yeah.
Peanuts
are the best.
Sounds
Peanuts are awesome. I'd rather have a bag of peanuts than a silver medal.
Same.
Especially a stupid honorary one.
It's like, well, try harder.
And maybe sell it.
Try harder and maybe you'll get one.
There you go. Oh, well.
Oh, baby. What's the Mur got?
Well, I didn't have time to do what I wanted to do, so I kind of made shit up today.
Nice.
When I woke up from my short nap.
From your short nap.
This week we got 18 versions of Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
Although they kind of blew through the first 16 copies pretty quickly.
Quick, yeah.
The idea of multiples and cloning isn't exactly new.
No.
So here are some other movies about clones.
Nice.
If that's your thing.
I'm okay with clones.
Sometimes.
The Sixth Day from 2000,
Nice.
Arnold
Arnie.
Schwarzenegger
It's all
It's a
right.
goodie.
plays a chopper pilot.
He gets to the chopper. Gets
in
him
a
to the
world
chopper.
where cloning has become common.
Mm.
After
It's
a
fun.
work trip, he finds out he's been cloned without his okay.
That's right.
From there, Arnold goes down
cool.
a rabbit hole
Shouldn't
of
get
this
cloned without your
shady
okay.
practice, corporate greed, and whatnot.
No.
Some critics have panned the picture, but Schwarzenegger fans and sci-fi fans think
all
it's
right.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's
And
not
you know
bad.
what? Here's the thing about clones. If you can have sex with yourself, guilt-free, sign me up.
Yeah, they almost did that in Mickey 17.
Yeah, well, almost. And that would have been even...
I believe I went to the bathroom at that point because I knew it was coming, and then apparently it didn't
See, I
because
wanted
the
to see
other
that.
the other woman busted in and
Yeah.
ruined everything.
Well, they could have made it a foursome. I don't
There
know.
you go.
You know what? But that's my argument for the positivity of clones.
there you go.
Is sex with yourself.
As long as one of them isn't evil.
Well, whatever.
Because if you can't love yourself, Jim.
Who can you love?
That's right. Next up, Multiplicity from 1996.
Oh,
I'm sure you
no.
guys hate it.
This is where another...
Michael Keaton.
Starring my main
In his
man
worst movie.
and the best Batman ever, Michael Keaton.
Oh,
You mean
God.
Adam West?
Film tackles the issue of cloning and replicating people with a comedic touch.
Does it?
He stars a construction laborer who has a hard time juggling his personal and professional life, so he
Yeah.
agrees to become a clone, to get cloned.
Mm,
He ends up being cloned many times. Hilarity
does.
ensues.
Well-
My kind of movie.
that's
There you
debatable.
go. Mild hilarity.
We have next up, The Boys from Brazil, 1978.
That's
So
Oh,
good.
you
Now,
haven't seen it.
Now we're talking
Okay,
clone.
I never heard of it. This film on our list has been called pure genius by
It is.
some.
It is pure
I'll
genius.
just call it, think it's way too silly.
What?
It's about a Nazi hunter
Yes.
who learns that Dr. Mengele from
Mengele.
the Nazi party wants to clone Hitler.
He does.
And make thousands
Oh,
of
sorry.
Hitler leaders by putting the cloned embryos
Sorry, spoiler.
into unsuspected women. Gregory Peck is a Nazi?
Yes.
Yes.
Being hunted by Laurence Olivier?
Yes.
I only saw the trailer, but it looks bad and pretty awesome at the same time.
Murray, if you
It's
watch
so
one
good.
movie this week, it's Boys from Brazil.
Plus, it got 3 Oscar nominations.
So good.
which means nothing. But
Well, Laurence
Yeah.
Olivier got nominated. I don't mean he's won, but he's been nominated a lot.
yeah.
I've never been nominated.
No, because you don't deserve it. The Gemini
How do I not
Man,
deserve it?
2019.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Which one
this
was that? Sorry.
Will Smith film
Yeah.
tanked at the box office.
Gemini
but Did
Man.
have some
Oh, that was so
originality.
horrible.
The film is shot entirely in 60 frames per second, making everything look and sound realistic and utterly mesmerizing. Will Smith's character, a retired military sniper whose attempt to quit his job, put him in the crosshairs of a skilled assassin. Turns out to be his younger clone.
Maybe I need to put this in the rage bag.
Back when I used to like Will Smith, I actually liked this movie. Okay, now we got one for you.
Nice.
There had to be one Korean film on this
Yes!
list just to make you guys happy. It's called Seabok.
Yes.
SEO?
Seabok.
Yeah.
Yes.
This film is about an ex-spy who finds himself tangled up with CEO, the first
Yep.
human clone.
Yep.
His
Yep.
job is to move this person, but things go haywire.
This movie's brilliant.
Things
And
always
as they're being sent to the United
Especially with
States,
clones.
an internal conflict breaks out between the NIS and the medical organization, or should I say, humanity and immortality. at
Nice.
odds.
Uh,
It has subtitles, so I'm out. But you guys
yeah,
probably
no,
liked
it's good.
Oh, it's a good film.
Finally, we finish off with the Keanu film.
Yes, it's about time.
Replicas 2019.
His worst movie.
In this film, Keanu Reeves' character is a neuroscientist.
Oh, sorry. Wait. Knock Knock was his worst movie.
He's a neuroscientist, okay?
No, you're right.
Working
This one's
on
worse.
putting human minds into artificial bodies. Whoa! Whoa!
So
But
bad.
here's the twist. After a tragic car crash takes his family away, he makes it his life mission to bring them back using his clone
He
technology.
does clone him.
Yeah.
Things take a wild turn, and this sends him on a race against time to save those people he loves while dancing on the edge of what's right and what's legal.
There's no dancing.
Sounds like an excellent adventure. That's all I got. Something for everybody.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
Okay, my rage this week. I had a few that were kind of percolating, but the one that I think got me raging the most was that we haven't seen, well, I have seen, but Bryce hasn't seen, and I want to experience seeing a really horrible movie in Screen X with Bryce and Murray present. So my rage this week is that there was no new films that came out in Screen X. That's my rage. Because we would have definitely seen it. Like, imagine if Mickey 17 came out
That probably could have been
in Screen X. I know, but instead of them doing that, it did come out, I think, in IMAX.
I'm sure.
And, what'd you say? Ultra
AVX or something.
Yeah, something like that. But you know what? They didn't put it out in Screen X. Now, keep in mind, I want everybody to be clear that Screen X is the worst invention that has ever been invented.
Is. And probably the most expensive to date.
Yeah. But if we're going to watch a movie, we should see a movie. Actually, you know what would have made it even better is if we got to see the Rule Breakers in Screen X. So when the robots, when they had the robot competition and the sides open up and you could, it's like you're right there in the robot competition. So as much as they didn't bring that out, it's more that they didn't bring Rule Breakers out in Screen X.
So you're going to pay even more money to see that.
Yeah. So that Bryce could experience true rage in Screen
No,
X.
it's got to be a superhero film. Maybe Mission Impossible. Let's do that one.
Yeah, it's totally going to be Mission Impossible.
So Mission Impossible is totally going to be in
Totally going to be
absolutely Screen
What's
X.
the next MCU film that's coming out? Maybe that's going to be
I think it's the Thunderbirds. But
yeah,
I think that is
maybe the
July or
Thunderbirds will be
something.
in X.
I think maybe Mission Impossible comes out first.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Let's X it up, Brycey.
X it up, baby.
Here's the rule, okay? I'm going to set a rule here. The next X that comes out, that's new release, we got to see it in there, so we have something to talk about.
The next what, huh?
Whatever next week is coming out.
Whatever
what's playing in
whenever
X.
next big movie is coming out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Screen
see it
X.
in X.
All right. Well,
It'll be a blockbuster.
It might be Novocaine.
I think X is going to be good.
No, I disagree.
Yeah, it might be Novocaine. Yeah, maybe
I
not.
don't know. Anyway.
We'll see.
Yeah.
My rage this week is just that, when people make movies about true stories that just deserve better, it's just disappointing sometimes when something that really should have a spotlight shined on it is just made so poorly that it takes away from the message that it's trying to deliver. That's my rage.
It's a good rage. We've talked about this, technically a lot. It's like biopics in general.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the one that.
Well, they go more for a storyline than they do actually accuracy. So I get that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of biopics are like maybe 50% accurate.
Yeah. Well, and the thing even with documentaries, though, right? Like we talk about documentaries.
Well, documentaries are still films.
Well,
no, I know, but
they're still from the perspective of the filmmaker.
It's right. It's sometimes we get documentaries. You're just like, this story.
Well,
the thing is, there's no true documentary, because even if you were to take a filmmaker and you were to just throw a camera somewhere and just document what's going on, it's still not a true documentary
Make it interesting.
because the people see the camera and then they probably don't act exactly how they would normally
Okay,
act.
but what if-
so the
what if it
only
was
way you
a-
could do it is if you had like a hidden camera
Yes.
and nobody knew.
Yes.
Then you could make a documentary.
Candid camera.
You just
Which nobody I don't think ever has.
What about a nature film? Because
Yeah.
you could do a documentary
They have
that's a
those.
nature
as long
film.
as the animals don't see the camera, then
Why would they know? They
act-
don't.
well,
think they act it
sometimes
up
they do.
too?
The animals walk up to the camera and look at it and fiddle with the camera.
They usually try to
They do
eat
it
it.
all the time. Anyways,
You just described the
I don't know.
entire
I have
world
no
of
idea why we
reality
went
TV.
off on that tangent, but
Well, mostly because we're talking about true stories.
True stories.
Right?
yeah.
And
But
so-
all I'm talking about. I don't care about all these other true stories. Sometimes true stories are for entertainment's sake, and that's good. I'm talking about true stories that really deserve an audience because of the message that they're trying to send, or the way that they're trying to educate you. They need to be spot on, made really well, or not made at all. If it's a stupid biopic about Elton John, I don't really care. But if it's about an important issue, you need to do it very, very well, or
Yeah.
don't do it at all.
Don't do it through Angel Films, is what you're saying.
Exactly. If it's Angel Films, it's crap. I think we've agreed on that.
I don't know about that.
Well, we've yet to see one
We have yet
that's
to see a
good.
good one.
The
Well, just you wait, because The
there's-
Chosen is coming up.
But that's a TV show, so
Yeah,
we
but
don't
it's
have
on
to
the
see
big
it.
screen.
Yeah, but we don't have to
well,
see
the
it.
one thing is on the big screen, the Last Supper deal. Anyways,
Yeah,
now we're
it's
really
part-
going up. Let's just end
It's just
this.
part of the series.
Can we please get on with it?
All right, then.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
My plan was to have like a 10-second rage, and it turned into like 4 minutes because you guys kept on going.
Oh, your rage on traffic was longer than that.
Nice.
Traffic sucks.
Does. All right. So again, if you're listening to us for the first time, go to our page, our webpage, filmrageyyc.com. Go to
Yeah.
our page called The List, or a tab called The List.
Yeah.
On that, you will find 5 lists. We have the mesmerizing, the repulsive, the doubted, the undoubted, and the once mesmerizing who no longer are.
Yep.
So we've been trying to whittle down our mesmerizing because our belief is that you cannot have 2 mesmerizing actors in the same film.
One's
Because
gonna
one's
outshine
going
the
to
other.
have to out-mesmerize the other one. So, Mur gave us the charge from last week that we were going to see Carol Kane and Peter Dinklage in Pete Smalls is
Dead.
Dead.
Did you actually find it?
Yes, we did.
We did.
I saw it in 2 different formats, so because I like the film. But the unfortunate thing is, or maybe fortunate
One
for
of them
Carol
isn't in long
Kane,
enough.
is that she's only in it for 54 minutes.
54 seconds.
Or 54 seconds.
Yeah, minutes it seems like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
54
would have been
seconds.
good if it was 54 minutes. Yeah, 54 seconds was all we got of Carol
Yeah,
Kane.
she was
now,
barely in
they
it.
were pretty awesome 54 seconds, I'm going to tell you that. But
Her and her,
just like our rule,
Her and her little dog, too.
So, yeah, for 54 seconds, it's not enough to give her a chance to get mesmerizing enough.
But once again, Murray, even though I'd never seen this movie
had
before,
top
and I
billing.
probably never would have seen it if it wasn't for you. So thank you, Murray,
Yeah.
for throwing this one forward, because I actually really enjoyed it. There were some funny bits in it.
And just so you know, Murray,
Just watching those two on the little scooter riding around
Yeah,
was
that was-
hilarious.
that was pretty funny. Here's the thing. When Bryce gets mad because he's like, "We only had one, blah, 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 blah," and it's usually on a film that he doesn't like, that's on him. Because you know what? You're not expected to watch the movie before you find it for us.
No.
So let Bryce be his normal bitchy self. If
Okay,
he
I don't
doesn't
even
like
know
it.
where that's coming from.
It's coming from. Well, you'd go off on Murray and say,
'Cause we know you?
guys, did you not even look at the list on this as the time and blah, 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 and who to who and
Because
what
it
to
doesn't
what.
tell you how long they're
Yeah,
in the
you
movie.
never know how long
I
these
don't.
are.
I'd love you to show me this episode where I did that, because that
Which
didn't happen.
episode? Plural?
Pretty much every time I bring up a name.
You guys are ridiculous. That
Okay,
has never
our
happened.
regular
Because
listeners.
I don't have a huge volume of films I can just draw.
Oh,
from
I thought you were
memory.
doing something else.
I have to consult the internet for this
That's
stuff,
right.
and yeah, unfortunately, not always accurate.
Nope. It's
So
not.
yeah, Yeah, she wasn't top billing, but I figured she at least did 5 minutes in it.
Yeah.
There was like 100 people in this movie. It was.
Yeah, there was so many people.
It was basically Peter Dinklage and
Friends.
whatever, whatever his
the
buddy.
dude. Yeah, he's the scooter dude.
And then everybody else is in it for very little.
Basically Petey and Friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
good.
it's
Thanks
good,
for
though.
getting us to watch
Just
it.
throwing darts at a board. That's all I'm doing.
That's true.
That's fine.
Last week on Rage or Dare, Bryce, after his usual song and dance, and I'm not talking about Danny Kaye with tap shoes sort of dance, it's more of the wah, wah, wah kind of dance. Well, he finally picked from Jim's bag of Tom Cruise action rage films and pulled the race car flick Days of Thunder. This week, it's Jim's turn to rage or dare. And hold on, what's that I hear? Oh, crickets. Because Jim ain't no whiner. He takes his rage like a good little masochist. Come on, Bryce. Now, let's check in with Bryce and see if his love of all the auxiliary cast in Days of Thunder, that's right, John C. Reilly playing pretty much the same character he does in Talladega Nights. Let's see if that love can bring the thunder over his loathing of the greatest action hero the world has ever created. And then, according to my notes, that is Tom Cruise.
But he had an accent this time.
Wait, Tom Cruise had an accent?
No, John C. Reilly.
Oh, okay.
He played a Southern dude.
Southern dude.
Yeah, okay. Days of Thunder. This is another late 80s, early 90s Tom Cruise formula movie. Take one talented young man who thinks he knows it all, but has a lot to learn. Take one older man who sees himself in Tom and takes him under his wing.
Wait, this sounds familiar.
And shows the utmost patience as Tom screws up over and over again. For some reason at this point, a woman enters the fray to teach Tom some life lesson by the end of the film as well. Watch Tom as he gets better and better at whatever he is doing. In this, it's driving around in a circle a lot. Now, we also need a bad guy. Although, in a Tom formula movie, we get an initial bad guy that is his rival, and through competition makes him better at whatever he is doing in the movie. In this, he gets really good at driving in a circle.
What?
And as the film goes on, this pseudo-enemy actually becomes a friend through their mutual respect because they are both good at said task, which in this movie is driving in a circle. And then...
Then? What? There's more? I'm already confused.
And then we enter the last act.
What?
The true enemy reveals themselves.
No.
And he is always so much worse than the first enemy, who ends up not being an enemy at all. And then finally, Tom flies the plane really good, or plays pool really good and wins big. Or in this case, he wins the big race because he passed on the right instead of the left. That seemed to be a major plot point for some reason in this film.
Because it's harder to pass on the right.
I hate all Tom Cruise formula movies, and Days of Thunder was no different than any of them. It is a rage. They're all the same gosh darn movie, Jim.
What? What are you talking about?
They got the exact same characters, the exact same everything every single time. And it's annoying. And this movie was it was garbage. It was watching frickin' car racing for like 2 hours.
Now you know how I feel watching sports movies in general.
Yes, NASCAR is about 4 hours long. And yeah, all they do is make a left turn.
It was just, oh my God, this was awful.
And millions of Americans love it.
It was so bloody awful. I hated this movie so much. I'm sitting there watching it, and my dog was like whining for some reason the whole time through. And it was actually, and it was, I think he was whining because he's like, why are you watching this garbage? This is awful. Even my dog knew that this was garbage. So I paused it and we went outside. We hung out for a bit. Then we came back inside. I hit play again, and after the dog having such a good time for a little bit there, he immediately started whining. He didn't whine after the movie ended. The movie ended, and all of a sudden he was perfectly quiet because even my dog hated this movie. This was awful.
You're
Rage.
You're welcome. Speaking of your dog,
speaking
Yay,
of-
he heard,
just entered.
he
He
heard,
heard
Tom,
you saying
he heard you say Tom Cruise, and
Hey,
he
Baxter.
Right.
he may not like this movie, but I can guarantee that Baxter loves Tom Cruise.
No,
Absolutely.
I don't believe he does.
Who doesn't?
All right, well,
I
that brought
actually
me so
love
much joy.
that movie. So
Nice. And you know what?
And that's where he met Nicole Kidman, who he was married to for a few years.
Which
That's
I also
wonderful.
don't like.
I love Nicole Kidman.
All right, well, I'm pulling from Merman's bag
Okay.
of
then.
ice creamy deliciousness.
What? It's not my turn again? Like
What?
every week?
Yeah, no, it's not. Although, just so everybody knows, when we come back next week, we've been dared to see something by a listener. So we'll be watching that. I will be watching a movie that I don't actually hate, so this is going to be good for me. It's called Lucky Number 11.
Oh, it's not terrible.
I know. It's like I just won the ice creamy bucket of tasting.
I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Thanks, Mur.
Other people disagree, so.
Well, what do they know?
They're a bunch of idiots.
They probably didn't love Mickey 17 as much as we did.
Sure.
Yeah, Lucky Number 11.
I believe it's a gambling movie.
Yeah, it's got some gambling
Ish.
in it, but it's got
Ish.
Josh Hartnett in it.
Yeah,
Morgan
who doesn't-
Freeman,
who
Ben
doesn't-
Kingsley.
Who
I mean,
doesn't
that's
love
stacked.
Josh Hartnett in anything? All right, well, thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage family. You can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey from The Nerdy Photographer for the voice of Rager Dare and our God of Rage. Rage! Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We always want to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe, and send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare us to see terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please, 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 pretty please, 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 don't make us a rage. That's it for this week. Rage on!
Rage on.